Little 7:09, feeling fine on a Friday. Welcome into Good Morning Huntsville. And Billy, we got to make sure that we have audio to start this show today, and we do, so we are good to go. What's up, man?
Yeah, because if we don't, I mean, this would be the time that I say all the cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, 7 minutes yesterday. I mean, this was like a second-rate production yesterday for some reason. You know, it was just a little Thursday blues. But you know what, man? That's okay, because the skies are blue, and everything when it's blue is all right.
There you go.
Welcome in, man. Billy Cauthen, everyone.
Good to be here.
Billy Cauthen here, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, Director of Ops, a.k.a. whatever you need, I'm your guy.
Yeah, the Director of Operations, the initial of that is just do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get stuck just doing stuff.
Welcome in. Happy Friday, everyone. Let us know what you're thankful for this morning. We'd love to hear from you. We got a great show lined up. I'm going to have a good friend of ours, Ben Sorrells, joining us from Kat Fund. And we're talking about Sam Houston State today, so we're gearing up early. We wanted to get folks geared up a little bit early, get them excited about the fall, because here we are, May 19th, and I mean, you fast forward 3 months, and boom, bam, here we go.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's going to happen quick. And, you know, I was out last night broadcasting my alma mater called, and I was very thankful. I was broadcasting a little Georgetown Lady Eagles softball in Mumford, Texas, and got out there last night. Started at 7:30, got wrapped up about 9:45, got out of there at about 11, got home at 1 o'clock, got to bed at 2, and back at it here this morning.
Now, tell the full story. You started at 7:30,
yeah,
but people can start hearing you at 7:37.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way it goes, man. So, once again, welcome in. We love you. Always great to hear from you this morning. As always, we are broadcasting downtown, beautiful downtown square. Another great day setting up here on a Friday. And we just love being down here in our studio. Thanks to Paul Oley, who's next door. I work in collaboration with him in the gallery promoting what he does for all your custom photography, framing, and more. Please go by and see Paul. Let him know I sent you. I went across the street yesterday, this place called Cloud 9, and I had no idea that it was a little hidden restaurant in there.
Oh, yeah, Blaine's awesome.
Man, I was in there pigging out. I had dude, I hate to admit this, man, but I had 2 chili dogs, cheese, onions. I had a chicken salad sandwich over there. I threw in a 7-Up. I mean, I was pigging out over there. I didn't know it was there, man.
Yeah, it's a little hidden gem, you know, and there's the restaurant, and then he's also, health and energy. He's got vitamins and stuff of that nature.
And very knowledgeable. I mean, you go in and tell him what's going on, and he said, well, I recommend this and try this. And
I call him Dr. Blaine.
Yeah, that's what everybody started telling me around town. I mean, I went over there yesterday, and less than 24 hours later, I'm already hearing about, quote-unquote, Dr. Blaine, man. So there you go. That's your Huntsville wisdom for you on a Friday. This show is also sponsored. Our studio is sponsored by Elliott's Jewelers. We appreciate Elliot Herzlick. Please reach out to Elliot for all your custom jewelry needs. He's out buying some diamonds in some other foreign country right now, and so when he comes back, we're going to have to hear how the diamond excursion went. And it'd be nice. Maybe we'll get him to give away some diamonds.
That's amazing. I'm buying tractor parts in Walker County, so yeah. Some people live the good life.
You're in the Walker County tractor parts buyers group, right?
Yes.
Well, there's about 8 of us that get together every Friday, and we
just swap the same stuff back.
Yeah, it's a tractor swap on a Friday.
Who's got my PTO?
That's right. But good folks, good fun, as we always have here. And do want to mention, of course, Billy, again, with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, our Foundation 5 sponsors. We appreciate Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home so much. I was talking to Greg, just a couple of weeks ago, and it seems like Greg and you guys are all over the place. And it's just good to be out and support the community. By the way, congratulations, Reader's Choice Award, Best Funeral Home, voted here in Huntsville.
Yeah, that was.
You got the award yesterday. I saw you receive it.
We did. Yeah, me and Miss Belinda, we received that, and I do have a little bit of football coach in me because we got that award yesterday, and that's awesome. But today it's back to work. We got to go ahead and start earning it for next year. That's right, man. So.
Well, it's a great job by you guys and several of our other Foundation 5 sponsors. Our good friend Jason Thompson over at Guardian Defense, they received the Best Firearms, so they got that award, which was great. And then also, Best Child Care Provider, I believe, went to Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. So congratulations, Rick and Kay. And it's just great to see. And I brought this up because here's the correlation. It's 3 folks. And I'm not saying, our show, obviously, it's what you guys do. But, again, it's people involved in the community. And look how it comes back to you. There's 3 folks that are active in the community that we have here on the show, including you guys, Tomorrow's Promise, Guardian Defense. And all of that just reciprocates right back. You don't do it to receive the award.
No, we don't.
But people recognize it, and they know it, and they vote for you because of how active you are.
Oh yeah, if you have a 9 to 5 business and you open at 9 and shut the door at 5 and go home, no, it's about getting out and serving before and after and during and yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So
man.
that's it's a little payoff there.
If you have a show called Good Morning Huntsville that starts at 7 and you flip it on at 7:07, it's kind of questionable.
Maybe you ought to just move the start time to 7:07.
Yeah, but you know how that goes. And if you move it to 7:07, then it's 7:10, and then before long we're starting the show at like 8 o'clock at night, and then it's Good Night Huntsville.
So I wouldn't have to get up as early.
Hey, we got a lot going on today. Again, Ben Sorrells waiting. We call it the green room. He's hanging out in the background, and he's eagerly waiting. We're going to have him on here in just a few moments. Didn't want to mention on a Friday, we're going to be giving away, how about another Color Bar gift card? And look, this gift certificate, this is as good as cash. $25 cash right there to the Color Bar. Justin's already affordable with what they do over there. And all you got to do to enter this, to win this today, and also, we started this yesterday. Whoosh, I just like flying that into the side. It's kind of a cool little fake video effect. It's not even a video effect at all. It's just me off camera.
What was the sound it makes?
Whoosh.
Whoosh.
Ricky Bobby.
Whoosh.
Little Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby.
Little Ricky Bobby.
We're giving, people are like, what's going on, man? I'm delusional.
Look, there's a lot of talk before the show starts.
That's what gets us started, man. We're giving away a Klein card. This is a $25 card, but it's so much more than that. It depends on how much you use. I mean, if you use this thing every day for all the great vendors around town, you'll get your money back very quickly. I've already saved close to $25 on my card, and so now that card, after 2 weeks, is going to start, or 3 weeks, is going to start paying for itself.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't take long.
So, and here's the cool thing: they've got a $25. Color Bar does $25 off service on here, one-time use though. But here's the deal: $25 Klein card, $25 Color Bar. Before long, boom, $50. Justin said he'll take both of them. Bam, there you go. If you had a $100 procedure over there, is that what you call it in the hair business? Procedure? Justin should be here to correct me on these terms.
He should.
Yeah, because procedure don't sound like the right word for the hair salon industry. But look, if
Well,
you...
no, I mean, it's good. Yeah, no, I like
Yeah.
that.
So, you know what? $50 off the Color Bar right there. Boom. We're going to give it away today and more. All you got to do, just like Jacqueline already did, you just got to put the hashtag Good Morning Huntsville, hashtag Hello Huntsville, hashtag Visit Huntsville TX, whatever you want to put there. Our software will pick it up, like this broadcast, and share it, and you will automatically be entered to win these. And then coming back next week, I'm excited, man. We're going to do this periodically and try to do it at least a few times a month. But Leah Linebeck is bringing us more flowers on Monday.
Awesome.
From Sweet Caroline. So we're going to be having those flowers sitting up here. I'm going to remember to water them halfway through the week this week because the lady who came by and won them last week, some of the petals started falling off. I think you were helping me with that.
Yeah,
and it's not Leah's fault. It's my fault.
Not,
I didn't water them.
Very impressive how long they lasted, though.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful the first day, and it was beautiful the day we gave it away. So
yeah, we just had to take a few of the petals that fell. And you know what it was is because that stem was not, the water had went down below that stem. If you don't feed the horse,
and I'm sure
we're
probably getting some pretty harsh sunlight beating through that window too. So
yeah, but we're going to be giving all that away. We got a great one lined up this week. We're going to wrap up a Friday on a very positive note. Our good friend's already joining us in. There's Jacqueline this morning saying Good Morning Huntsville. She's entered into the contest, and you can be too. All you got to do is just put the little hashtag on there. Put whatever you want. But
is that Rick hollering at us there?
That's
hey, Rick.
Rick Boning already hollering at us. I was behind Rick earlier. Rick, did you see me behind you this morning? He said, nice. Look at that nice color coordination. We are, man. We're looking at smoky gray.
Man, I just, when I left the house this morning, I just saw what he had on.
Yeah, we text each other, hey, Billy, what are you wearing today? He goes, well, I'm wearing jeans, kind of a darker gray shirt. I'll say I'll wear a little bit of a darker charcoal. How about some light gray? Boom, bam, there you go.
Greg could be listening. I do not have on blue jeans.
Yeah, he does not have on blue jeans. They are starched dress pants. So
we'll go with that.
Jerica joining us this morning. All the way from the unfrozen tundra is all. Good morning, Jerica. We love you. We always appreciate you chiming in every morning. And also, how about this? Our good friend
was that our buddy from North Dakota or whatever?
Jerica?
Yeah.
No, she's from North Dakota. She joins us every single day. Yeah, tuning in from Fargo. She always tunes in. And one day you're going to be moving here, Jerica, or at least come by to visit and say hello. We'll have you on the show, special guest.
Come down to God's country.
You know what we're going to do? We should have a super prize package where we fly you down to Huntsville, Texas, and we'll put together a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, we'll take you to a Sonic or something.
Yeah. We'll take you to a Sonic. They got them up there, man. No, there is a lot, though, honestly. There's a lot of great things here in Huntsville. And then Rick earlier was saying it's called a system. So there you go. So it is a system, I guess, at the salons. Rick, I've never heard of that before. We'll talk about that, by the way, on
Rick,
Wednesday.
we're going to need to have a meeting, buddy.
Yeah, we're going to be having a meeting. And, again, Lois joining us as well. Hey, stay with us. Make sure to hit that like, share, comment. We got a lot happening here on a Friday. I'm excited to talk to Ben. For now, though, we're going to step aside. We're going to take a brief break. And when we come back, we'll bring on Ben Sorrells of Kat Fund. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Huntsville. Hey, good morning, Huntsville. Welcome back in. Rob Hipp here as always, joined by Billy Cauthen on a Friday. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and always a pleasure to have you on, Billy. It's a lot of fun, man. When I envisioned this show, there was a core group of people that I envisioned sitting on this show and being part of it, and you were one of those guys, man. And so whenever Greg said I'd love to hop on board, and I love having Greg here too. He's a lot of fun, but man, it's been fun the past few weeks having you hop on as well, man.
Oh yeah, we get to cut it up.
Yeah, we cut it up and toss it out and dish it back the next Friday.
But we are not dropping it like it's hot.
No, we don't do that, man. If
here.
we dropped it like it's hot, this whole broadcast would go cold very quick. So.
Very.
Hey, we're excited this morning. I've got a good friend that I met several years ago, a Sam Houston Bearcat alumnus, and he is doing great things here, not only in Huntsville, but wherever he is. Let's bring on now Mr. Ben Sorrells. Ben, good morning. What's going on, man?
Good morning, Rob. Thanks for having me on. Good Friday to be here. Happy to talk to you. Happy to talk about some Kat Fund and Sam Houston Athletics.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you. It's been a while. You know, you and I chit-chat a little bit on social back and forth every once in a while. But, man, how have you been? What have you been up to? Before you dig into a Kat Fund, let us know how you've been. What's been going on in your world?
Yeah, doing good, man. Just recently celebrated our 1-year anniversary, me and my wife, so that's exciting. Just got back from a little vacation to where she's from up in St. Louis. We were there for a little over a week, so just got back from there. So just back at work, working on Kat Fund, following Sam Houston Athletics, and just happy to be here.
Yeah, man. You know, I think you and I first met at the old Sam at the Jason Hooten radio show there at True Texas Barbecue. You were coming, and I was excited because we had tried to get that going. It was an idea that I had for a whole minute, and once we got plugged into Huntsville, you know, full time, we started getting that show going over there. Worked out a deal with our friends at True Texas. Ended up being a lot of fun, and you started coming. I mean, you were at every show. You were bringing the posse with you, man. So walk us through a little bit about your Sam Houston journey. I know we want to talk Kat Fund, but want to learn more about you. How did you get plugged in over at Sam Houston, Ben?
Yeah, so I got there in, the fall of 2018. I graduated in May of 2021, so I've been out of Sam Houston for about 2 years. But, man, me and my group of friends at Sam Houston, we just loved every sport. We would go to every sport, and that was kind of our thing. We would just go to basketball games, football games, baseball, whatever there was that night, we were there. And so when the radio show popped up, we were there, and I think we were there every week. That was our first time we met Rob, and it was a lot of fun. I got to meet Coach Hooten. He was the first coach or player I really ever met on campus, and so that really sparked my fire for trying to meet coaches, meet players, and wanting to cover the teams. And so my final year at Sam Houston in 2020, 2021, around there, I started Sports of SHSU, which is now a Twitter and Instagram and YouTube account, which has about 5,000 followers. And so I cover all the teams at Sam Houston, have got to know so many of the coaches and players and people in the Huntsville community, and it's just been really great. And from that, I got asked to join the board of Kat Fund, which I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about, but that's an NIL collective for Sam Houston athletes. So that's kind of the journey and how I got to where I am today and what I do.
Yeah, if you'll notice, I had to change the background too. We had a little bit of, we had to go orange here to match your repertoire this morning, because Billy and I were looking a little monochromish, and you brought in the juice there.
Always got to rep. Always got to rep the orange any chance I can.
You know, it's funny, man. When I first started broadcasting for Sam Houston years ago, and it was a privilege to do it for several years before, we hopped up north for a little bit. But it was always fun because I'm from Austin area, Ben, and I don't know if I ever told you the story, but it's just like everybody's on that UT bandwagon. And when people say they bleed burn orange, I'm like, man, you better go to the doctor because Billy's are you starting to get angry at me about this? Because are you a Longhorn fan, Billy?
No.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to this guy's a lot bigger than me, and he could knock me out with one swoop. But I always said it's dangerous if you bleed burn orange. That's not healthy. You probably need to go to the ER. And so I always joked around when I was broadcasting Sam Houston Athletics, never like on a public platform, during a game, but I'd joke around on shows and stuff, and I'd say, you know what, we got that better color of orange here in Huntsville, man.
Yeah, we do. We really do. And I'll even add the A&M maroon also. I think we got a better color than that as well. I know some people out here like the A&M maroon, but we're trying to make Bearcat country as large as we can. So spread the message and get people wearing orange, the right orange.
Yeah, I think that's so good, man. And again, Ben Sorrells joining us here from Kat Fund. Ben, you brought up a good point because there is A&M, just an hour away. And then you've got the University of Houston down to the south. But the true realization is, and I always tell everybody this, when I came here, everybody's like, well, we got to compete with all of these other universities. Just focus on what you do and make it better. We're only limited by what we think. And if we have that attitude every day of like, we got to compete, well, we're not really competing. We're all in this together. We all want students to succeed. And some people are called to A&M. Some kids are called to University of Houston. That's great. We just want kids to be in college. But, at the end of the day, when the kids do choose to come to Sam Houston, as you know, it's a great school. You went to school there. There's an opportunity to really learn and grow. I mean, we're talking 22,000 plus. The population of Sam Houston rivals that of Baylor. But we can focus on our product and make it the best that it can absolutely be. And, man, credit to Bobby Williams going from NAIA, under his tenure, by the way, from NAIA all the way to the highest level of Division I FBS. I don't know if there's any other athletic director in the country that has taken a program all the way from that starting entry level to the highest level.
Yep, and you talked about that growth, and Sam Houston's at about 22,000 students, and it's continuing to grow. I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at it, but the Sam Houston master plan for the next 10 years got released a couple weeks ago, and the enrollment projections for about 10 years from now is right at 30,000. So the move to FBS football, the move up from FCS to FBS, continuing to increase visibility on Sam Houston, continuing to grow the enrollment. I mean, it's an exciting time here. So I'm really excited about the future of the school. And like you said, if we can just focus on us, be the best versions of ourselves, I think it's going to be a really good product for people to watch.
Man, it's just, and people say like, Rob, you're too optimistic. You're too positive all the time. But that's the reality, man. We need to wake up every day. And I talk about it on this show every single morning, Ben, having that attitude of gratitude, being thankful for where you are. And despite the circumstance that you're in, that doesn't define who you are. But it can define who you are in some takes, but when I look at Sam Houston State, that move to FBS, just an incredible opportunity to promote the brand. I kind of felt like if you don't do it, you're left behind. I know that there were some folks that, that I was talking to saying, I don't know if this is a good move. And I said, well, then why don't you apply to be the athletic director? That was kind of my joke with them because I feel like as someone here and supportive of the team that it was an excellent move. And, again, it's about that attitude because if you carry that positive attitude saying, you know what, we can be the best that we can be, we can go forward and do great things, what you think ultimately does project out of who you are. I truthfully believe that. And if you have that attitude of like, this isn't a good move, think about what if a kid crosses your path, and it could happen here in Huntsville, Texas, maybe the next Heisman Trophy winner. And because of your attitude, he saw something in you that was negative. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to Sam Houston now. I'm not going to do it. Just didn't like that. That's why we got to be so careful about how we project ourselves to others because we can either set someone up for tremendous success or we can also set someone up for a stumbling block.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said with the attitude, and just related to sports, the FCS to FBS move, a lot of people are kind of on the fence, were on the fence. And I think if you have that attitude, a bad attitude, I guess, towards it, I think you're going to have bad results. But I think if we can all chip in, have a good attitude, support the programs, I think we can see some really good things here in Huntsville with our athletic program.
We are living in the NIL era now, and it is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and it's name, image, and likeness. And, Ben, I'll let you get everybody up to speed because there may be some folks this morning saying, I've heard of NIL, or maybe they haven't. They don't know what it is. But, this is an opportunity here, something that you have to embrace and really take a focus on your student athletes. So give us a little bit of background of just NIL and what you've learned since everything's came out several years ago, and that'll kind of lead us into Kat Fund and what you're doing, Ben.
Yeah, so NIL became a thing. So before NIL, athletes were not able to profit off their name, image, and likeness. It could be as simple as having a YouTube channel they aren't able to profit off of. They couldn't go be a sponsor for a local business, but that all changed in the summer of 2021. So we've been in this for about 2 years now. And it's a great way for athletes to kind of grow their brand, grow their social media presence, and also be able to help local businesses in the area make an impact in their community and also grow what they're trying to do for the next level. And it's really become a thing that you have to compete at the NCAA Division I level, which is what Sam Houston is at. So that's kind of how Cat Fund came into play. We realized that Sam Houston really needed something like this to be able to benefit our athletes, one, but also to be able to be competitive with the athletes that we bring in and retain at Sam Houston. So that's kind of what NIL is. It allows athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness. And that's kind of what Cat Fund does, is give athletes that ability. There's our website right there. And we want to help student athletes make a positive impact in the community by using their name, image, and likeness. So we want to help the players, and we want to help the community.
Yeah, showing that on the website right now. And by the way, folks, go to the website, check it out, cat-fund.com. For those of you that are listening on the audio only format, you can't see it, of course, if you're listening audio only, but the website is cat-fund.com. As we were talking to Ben Sorrells this morning with Cat Fund, you got to put your, what's the old word? You got to put your, like if you say something, you're going to do it. Like put your,
Best foot forward.
Yeah, I don't.
Best foot forward.
Put your mouth where your foot. I don't know what the word is, Ben. I'm terrible.
Money where your mouth is.
What was it?
Money where your mouth is. I don't know.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, kind of money where your mouth is. And so when I came back to,
I'm not putting my money where my
when I came back to Huntsville, the first thing that I said is I wanted to support what you're doing because I know it supports student athletes, and I'm a big advocate for Sam Houston State. And I didn't go to school there, but I joined the Alumni Association. You can join as a friend of the Alumni Association. Joined that several years ago. And then right away joined the Cat Fund, man. I wanted to support you guys. And talk us a little bit more about what Cat Fund does and just how it benefits student athletes here at Sam Houston State, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start on the member side. And as a member, depending on what tier you sign up at, you get different member perks. So you could sign up anywhere from $10 a month up to $1,000 a month. And so with that, you get exclusive content to different things going on at the university. That could be recruiting news, player interviews. There's also some different apparel, some shirts, some hats that you might get. Some other things that we offer include tours of facilities, exclusive access to practices. So there's really a lot of cool stuff that you can get access to as a part of a member. On the student athlete side, they're going to be able to, we're facilitating NIL deals with them here very soon. We've kind of been in a fundraising stage since we started a few months ago, but starting this summer, we'll begin those deals, and those athletes will begin putting out social media posts about us, volunteering in the community. And this is really going to help them because a lot of people don't realize that scholarships don't cover everything.
Mm-hmm.
They cover a lot of educational stuff, but there's still food, and there's a lot of stuff that athletes need to be able to remain competitive, where there could be gear, equipment, whatever it might be. So this is really going to help kind of fill in the gaps for a lot of players at Sam Houston. So as a member, you get a lot of really cool perks. As a student athlete, you get access to an NIL deal to grow your brand, to help serve in the community, and also to help kind of fill in some financial gaps there might be. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, it's great. We're showing the website again here for those of you that are on the video stream right now, different memberships. I mean, you can walk on at $10 a month, the starter at $25 a month. Man, if you've always wanted to be an All-American, here's your chance. $50 a month, you can be an All-American, Billy.
Who knew?
I would never be an All-American on the field, but you know what? I could be an All-American with Cat Funds. A lot of different things. I've already got my decal came in right away, Ben. First thing I did, I slapped it on my truck. People were looking at it probably being like, what's this punk doing with North Dakota license plates and a Cat Fund logo on the back of his truck? I said, well, you know what, man? That's just how it is. So want to support you guys because I know that money eventually is going to trickle into student athletes and help them out and to grow. And you're right. You have to have things in place. And we do live in that world now. And I don't care what the argument is. We live in that world now to where it's here to stay. NIL is going nowhere. And we have to be at the forefront of that. And so it's great to hear from you and your passion about what you're doing. I know before I'd left, you and I had talked about a few things, and going away and then coming back and seeing this come to pass has been great, man. It's awesome that the Cat Fund is out there. It's something that I support, and it's something that I encourage others. If you're passionate about this area in Sam Houston State, definitely need to look into it. Definitely need to join it. It's not that bad, and you're helping out student athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to help student athletes, and I think our visibility is just going to grow. We appreciate you slapping that sticker on there, Rod, and I think football season, Rob, with football season coming up, I think we're going to have a lot of events in person for our members to come to. We'll have some tailgates to come to. So the visibility is just going to increase. And like you said, it's something necessary that we have to have as an FBS school. I call it a necessary evil. There's a lot of things that go into it, but it's something you have to be able to compete at the Division I FBS level. So it's something we need, and it's something we've got put into place, and I know the teams and players have really appreciated it so far.
Yeah, our good friend a while ago, by the way, Caitlin, she said, put your money where your mouth is. That was the phrase that I was looking for, man. This going on 3-year COVID brain has still got me behind. And I'm serious about that, man. It's like old phrases that you should know like the back of your hand. I can't even recall them, man. So, Ben, good stuff this morning. And wanted to mention, too, you talked about some of that exclusive content. And what's really cool here is for those of you that do join Kat Fund, just as I have, you will get exclusive content on catfans.com under the Kat Fund exclusive content section. And so you guys have posted things in here and I have some of my settings turned off a little bit differently, so I only show certain things, but there is a lot of content in here. I mean, there's information in here about basketball recruits, about players that are coming in. You guys broke some news on, the quarterback situation at Sam Houston. So there is so much that you get access to. If you're a hardcore Bearcats fan or you're just someone that wants to get connected to the team, I believe that Kat Fund is one of those ways to do it, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've broken a lot of really good news in there. We've talked about football commitments that we post on there before the player goes live with it or the team goes live with it. We've broken a couple game contracts. So Sam Houston's going to be playing Texas State in 2024. And we broke that news on there before it got out. We had the game contract for the Kennesaw State game. So we had some information on that. We also had some transfer portal info for basketball. We've had that as well. And then what's some other stuff? Oh, we had some information on Casey Keeler's contract before it was put out publicly. So there's really a lot of good information in there. If you're a Sam Houston Athletics fan, it's really just a great way to get involved. For $10 a month, you can get access to that content. So it's really a good way to sign up for just $10 a month.
Again, Ben Sorrells joining us here from Kat Fund. You can find out more information online at cat-fund.com. You mentioned Coach Keeler, and I did want to say this right now. It was a privilege to work with Coach Keeler for going on almost 4 years there when I was broadcasting for Sam Houston State. The leadership core at the university is solid. I love what Dr. White's been able to do, and not putting down anybody that was before any of these folks, because they all have their place, but it's been tremendous to see our university president being very active in the community. She is always out and about. Love what Dr. White's doing. Bobby, we talked about him earlier and the great things that he's done over his tenure and continues to do. But then you look at someone like Coach Keeler, who wants to be in this community, who is invested here. That contract is so important because that really solidifies his position here over the next, 4 years, I believe, Ben, for sure. Yeah. And so when you take care of those folks, and I'm talking about the community, let's embrace them. Let's go out and help out our university. If you see folks around town, man, you know what I love about Huntsville? You can go up and give people a pat on the back and just embrace people. And that's what I love about this community. So, if you see these folks in town, just shake their hand, give them a pat on the back, and tell them thanks for all your hard work. Because the more that we can encourage and lift each other up, the better that everything's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, just to piggyback off what you're saying about the administration, our relationship with them has been really great. Obviously, we're two separate entities, but making sure we're within compliance with the athletic offices, with the university. Our support from Dr. White and Bobby Williams has been great. Our support from the coaches has been great. You mentioned Coach Keeler. He's been a joy to get to know over these past 6 months or so since we kind of had the idea come up and since we've started. So just some really great people in Huntsville. Love the town, love the people, and just super excited to be doing what we're doing.
Yeah, one of the cool things when I first got here and met with Coach Keeler the first day I was here, and he was so generous. He said, here's my cell phone number. If you need anything, just call me. Don't be afraid to call me. And I love that because, he had a year that he spent in media before, he had that transition, and he spent the 1 year in media. So he goes, look, brother, he goes, I get the media side of things. I know how it is. And so whatever I can do to help you be successful. And that's the leadership. I mean, to hear that from a Division I coach that I had just met was tremendous. And, even my time up in Fargo, which I thoroughly loved and enjoyed getting to know the coaches there, and Coach Entz, who's done a phenomenal job, and all the great staff, Matt Larson and those guys at NDSU. I still stayed in touch with Coach Keeler. We'd text about once a month or so, and he would ask me how the family's doing, and I would ask him how he's doing. And that's just what you get, man. It doesn't get any better than being in East Texas around great people.
Yeah, absolutely. The very first time I met Coach Keeler was, I think, November of last year. We had a meeting about Cat Fund, who we are, what our kind of vision was for it, and we had that meeting, and then we just talked football for an hour on his own time. It was a Saturday. I think they even had some recruits in that day, but he just sat there and gave his time and just talked for an hour, like we were just some guys talking around a campfire or whatever it might be. And so he's just a great guy. Highly recommend supporting the football team. He's done an amazing job here the past decade. So I love Coach Keeler and what he's doing.
Ben, we need to figure out a way to get you on the sidelines, man. I think, Ben Sorrells, sideline reporter, that has a good ring to it.
I think it's in the works. I mean, I think it's in the works this coming year. I've been gracious enough, or people have been gracious enough to me to be able to let me in on some information, obviously for Cat Fund,
Yeah.
and be able to report on it for Cat Fund, but also for my Sports of SHSU pages as well. So being able to develop those relationships recently, I think we might have something to that coming up here in the fall.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so, you know what, Ben? Make sure that you continue to promote Sports of SHSU. We'll mention it here, the Twitter account, the Instagram account. I do have to ask you, do you ever sleep? Because I'm always seeing content nonstop. How does your wife deal with this, and do you ever get to sleep, Ben?
Man, I do get to sleep some between my regular job and that, but she's been great about it. She's not the biggest sports fan, but she lets me do it. She actually enjoys me doing it because I'm so passionate about it. So you got to learn to place some boundaries on it as well. You got to go to sleep at some point, but yeah, she lets me do it. I love doing it. And I think if you have a passion for something, you're going to do everything you can to be able to make it happen. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, you're 100% right, man. Whenever I mean, you hit the nail on the head. And we're all about uplifting people on this show, and that's why I love what you said, because if you're passionate about something, you're going to find a way to make it happen. And, and just a story that I can relate with is when I was growing up, I said I always wanted to broadcast. And I had to go through that journey of 14 years running an IT company. Now I see why God put that there, because that led to the opportunities. And I was talking to somebody once, Billy, and they said, I had an idea, and they said, well, there's not a demand for that. Well, you go out and create the demand for it. If you got an idea that no one wants, guess what? Go create the demand for it. Make people want it.
Yeah, make them want it.
Yeah, make them want it. Just say, hey, I've got something out there. We were live streaming, kids at the high school level in 2012 before it was really popular, and there's a demand for that because grandparents and parents can't make it. And so you're right, man. If you're passionate about something, you just got to wake up every day and go out there and get it, man. And you know what? People are going to tell you no. You're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have obstacles. You always be politely pleasant or politely persistent is the word that I like to use. But eventually you're going to line up with folks. And I was truly blessed to be here for those years and to be up at NDSU and then to come back now and to support what you're doing and to promote our university, man. I think there's a reason for every season that we go through in life. And we're in a phenomenal season right now with Sam Houston State and all the great things that are happening. And you know what? We need about 1 million more Ben Sorrells. If we can get that, we're going to be really trucking along, man.
Yeah, I think we need some more Rob Hips as well. Funny story, in creating the demand, this goes back to creating a demand, but it was the COVID year and there was no Sam Houston football that fall. So me and my buddies would actually watch, Rob, your broadcast of Huntsville Hornet football. That was the year they were really good. I think they made it to like the third or fourth round, something like that. They had a bunch of Division
They're good
I guys.
every year.
We would sit at the house and we would watch Huntsville Hornet football on a Friday or Saturday, whatever it was, because there was no Sam Houston football. So there's definitely demand for it. And I just thought that story was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Well, Ben, we appreciate you, appreciate the great work of Cat Fund and also what you're doing in the community to just really lift up this university. Fully good and well. You and I talked before I had left to Fargo, but you've got my full support and whatever we can do to support you. Because at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about lifting up our university and our student athletes, and it's a great opportunity to continue to put Huntsville, Texas on the roadmap. And I want to be clear by that because friends, we got a Division I FBS school here in Huntsville, Texas now, and there's kids. This is the football state, and so there's an opportunity for the best of the best at the high school levels to come out and be recruited right here from our own backyard.
Absolutely.
And Keeler talked about it. I mean, you got all these great kids right here. We always kind of joked around. It's like the Bermuda Triangle of football here in this area and baseball as well. But there's kids right here in our own backyard that can help elevate this program as well. And tremendous success is on the way for Sam Houston State. Just have the attitude, and it's going to happen.
Yep, absolutely. And I thank you for having me on, Rob, and I hope we can do it again soon. Talk about Cat Fund, talk about life, and talk about the great city of Huntsville.
Yeah, you bet, man. Thanks a lot, Ben. Keep up the great work, and keep on fighting a good fight, my friend.
Yep. Thanks, Rob. Eat 'em up,
There
cats.
you go. Eat 'em up, Cat. Man, I haven't heard that one on a broadcast yet. Ben is a great guy. I got to know him. He came in and supported those coaches shows that we had with Coach Hooten on the basketball side, and it was a lot of fun. But definitely wanted to promote what they're doing. Kat Fund, a great initiative here, and helping to promote the university and student athletes. Billy.
Yeah, had some pretty good times over there at True Texas Barbecue doing that. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so come on down, True Texas BBQ, baby. We're going to step aside. We're going to take a break. We've still got a lot more to go here. A little bit of what day is it today, and I want to hear more about what's going on at Sam Houston Memorial. I know things are always busy and unfortunately busy, but that's good for business. But, compassion, hugging on people, loving on people, that's what you guys do.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk more about that when we come back. Stay with us. We've got a lot more to go here on Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be back here in just a few moments. Hey, good morning, Huntsville. Welcome back in on a Friday edition of Good Morning Huntsville. Billy Cauthen joining us, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and great to catch up there with Ben Sorrells just a few moments ago from Kat Fund. Billy, appreciate you guys and y'all support, talking about people being involved. Greg's all over the place at Sam Houston as well. I mean, he has some of these young men out to his place. They feed them sometimes, different areas, and just really love on the students. And Greg has done a tremendous job being involved. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, a big supporter of Sam Houston State Athletics as well. You guys are all over the place, man. What's the last week been like for you?
Oh Lord, it's been a real flash. I mean, we're always on the move, on the go, different events. Pretty much just any chance that I get to be out in the community, because I mean this is my town, and I just love to be around my people. Just get out. I mean, even if it's just rolling down to the hardware store, there's always something we're needing. So,
You're starting to remind me of, just good old days. I like how you said it, because it's bringing back some youth for me, saying, even if it's just rolling down to the hardware store. Are you feeling that, Billy?
Well,
it's like when you're young and you're like, I'm going to go roll into Sonic.
Oh, no, yeah, I get it.
You know
I'm
what I'm
just,
saying, man?
the dad in me is thinking, well, they're actually, higher elevation than we are. So I guess I'm rolling up there.
Oh, man.
I can ruin anything.
Oh, yeah, it's all right, man. But no, you guys tremendous, though, just being involved, and I always see you around town, see you and Greg, and I did want to highlight just the compassion. I mean, that's one reason you guys just won that award for Best Funeral Home here in Huntsville and Walker County, because of that compassion. How do you guide someone, Billy? I mean, I just had a friend lose his mom on Mother's Day.
Oh, it's tough.
Had another man that I know that lost his dad just a couple of days ago. When folks come in, these are very tough situations. How do you handle that tough emotion, and how do you just embrace people to make them feel loved, and most importantly, to help them get through this situation? Because you don't ever get over it, but you do try to work through it.
There's a great book that was written, and I tend to try to follow some of the readings in that book, and one of them is "Do unto others as you'd have done to you." And I tend to think that's probably the greatest, because I have walked that walk. I have sat at that arrangement table. I've been there with my family, and I know the hurt and the pain and you just don't understand what's going on. I mean, that a crucial part of your life is now gone, but you don't know how. I mean, what's the next step? Where are we going? I mean, how does this tie together? So by already walking that, I understand how I wish to have been treated in that situation, and I try to make sure that's how our families are treated.
Yeah,
it's guidance.
Yeah, it's. I know that and I've been to a lot of different funeral homes and funeral services, and I can definitely tell the difference between the ones that really, really, really put a heavy emphasis on compassion and the ones that are like, we're doing this, we have a little bit of compassion, but we're also really want to make sure that our bottom line is covered. You guys, compassion is the first and the foremost. I mean, even when I walk in, I've came in there to look at a couple of things, for you guys on the technology side. Couldn't fix any of them, but at least I came by, but.
You did show up.
Hey, I did fix, there was a little bit of static on one of the speakers. Can Air did fix that,
And
by
it's
the way.
been working great ever since.
Yeah, I didn't send you a bill for that one.
We're waiting.
We just called that the honor, the thank y'all for being here system. But I mean, seriously, though, I walk in and from the young lady that's at the front and from the lady that's in the back that handles business stuff and of course, Greg, I mean, you feel compassion. And whenever you walk into y'all's facility here in Huntsville, and I haven't been into the other two, but I'm sure it's the exact same, I don't feel like I'm walking into a funeral home. I feel like I'm walking into somebody's living room, into someone's home. And I feel at peace when I walk into what would be a tough place to be for a lot of people.
It is a family atmosphere. We are a family funeral home where I think everyone that works for us is first generation. We're not following in someone's footsteps or trying to. This is us. This is what we have been led to do. This is our journey, our mission. This is us taking care of you.
We used to service a lot of funeral homes there in the Georgetown area when I had my IT company, and I always enjoyed just going in and talking to folks, and I asked them some of the same questions that I'm asking you. But there was a young lady that worked at one. Richard Gardner was there, and Rebecca Robidas, and they are now married.
I have a personal connection with those two.
Yeah, what's your story with Rebecca and Richard? They're great folks. They seem like they're like kind of this in Texas. When I think of like funeral homes, I think of you guys, of course, because you're here with me all the time. But then I think of Richard and Rebecca for some reason. I don't know why. It's just they're pretty active in the industry.
Rebecca runs probably one of the finest funeral directing schools in the state of Texas.
So that's why. Okay.
And she was actually my professor. And one day I noticed that me and Rob had a mutual friend, and I'm like, well, who is it? On Facebook, and I had to call him. I'm like, hey, how do you know her? Because that's my professor. So could you give me some bonus points?
Yeah, man.
So, yeah.
How does that work? Take us. Look, I'm not, going off on a tangent here, but maybe there is somebody that's watching or listening. Maybe they searched for funeral home on YouTube and somehow this video popped up, 10 years from now. But I mean, well,
first of all, they need to find something better to do.
Yeah, they need to find something. But what is it? I mean, going through the school, what's that like? What's that process like going through a funeral home school, like a funeral school? What do you do?
Well, I mean, what I have is an associate's degree in applied science. It's a 2-year nonstop. I mean, it's a full course load. It's pull your hair out, try to work full time, go to school. Lots of late night pizza pocket type situation. Yeah, it's tough, but no, we're not just a geek off the street with a certificate. We actually, went to a university and yeah.
So when you think of someone like Rebecca, I mean, and having this school, what does she teach?
A lot of hers was like the administrative side of the funeral home is what she was responsible for.
Gotcha.
Then there was a Brandon Glade at the time. He was the embalming professor and stuff of that nature. So
yeah, we'll keep it at that. I like
yeah,
that.
We won't go too much deeper into
Don't worry, we're never going to do an on location, by the way, at San
Oh, thank God, yeah, no.
Yeah, so we'll keep it where it is. But again, Billy, just tremendous. I always love to learn about different industries and those things. And maybe I've asked you this before. How did you get into the business?
Well, I was working somewhere, and I was not happy with it. I'm pretty sure they weren't happy with me, and I just one night I fell to my knees and tears in my eyes, and I prayed to God to get me out of that place. And I'm also a scoutmaster for Troop 98, and I was cleaning out our little storage locker, and I had filled the dumpster up at the Scout Lodge. So I'd work part time at the funeral home on and off, and so I called up there. I said, hey, can I throw some stuff away in the dumpster? And they're like, yeah, sure, come on. So I went up there, and I'm throwing stuff away. And, of course, somebody came out there and said, hey, the manager wants to see you or whatever. And I'm like, oh,
you thought you were in trouble?
Well, I'm like, this
After
is
they
crap,
told you?
man. They told me I could use the dumpster. But anyhow, I went in there, and he told me to shut his door. And he was not a shut the door kind of guy. But I shut the door, and he pointed his little old fingers at me. And he said, I've been praying for someone to come here and help me run this place, and I think you're it.
Wow.
So, I mean, after, when I dropped to my knees, I told God I would go wherever he sent me. I wouldn't question it, and I would stay. And then when that was said to me, I knew that was the answer, because I had my eggs in another basket too. I really wanted to go to work for the Forest Service, and I just, wasn't hearing anything back from them. And then when that was said to me, I knew it was answered.
Man, that is awesome.
And he was like, "Hey, do you need to go home and talk this over with your wife?" And I said, "No, I need to call HR and give them suckers 2 weeks." and that's what I did.
Because did she know that you had kind of prayed about this?
Oh yeah. She's my wife, she's my life, and I mean, she was riding that with me. I mean, it was not good. I was not in a great place, but now I'm in an awesome place. So
that's awesome. I think when we're spoken to in that way, and again, not trying to make a story about me, but it's just so I can relate to it. That's one reason we're so passionate about Huntsville. Whenever we had the opportunity to come here, and I was working here part time. Before I was just a contractor, and I miss those days. It'd be nice to go back to the contractor day. To be honest, you think the grass is greener, but then when you go away and you look, you're like, you know what? I always preach, take care of your own grass, fertilize your own grass first. And I'll never forget that. I was driving from Georgetown back and forth doing games, 2.5 hour trip. So it was like 5 hours, round trip. And I was talking to a gentleman before I had. Well, he had offered and said, "Hey, we got an opportunity here if you're interested." But I heard from another gentleman that said, he called me and he said, I woke up in the middle of the night the other night and I had a dream that you had came here to Huntsville. And I looked over at my wife and she said, "There's no way that he would ever leave Georgetown." And I was praying for God to give me some guidance on where I should be. And so that kind of was like, that's strange, because I didn't tell this person that. Literally the next day I get a call from one of my mentors. And he goes, "Rob, I just had this overwhelming feeling that you need to start preparing to move to Huntsville, that God is going to open up a door there for you to be there in a full-time capacity." And I was like, whoa, man. And if you talk about things giving you goosebumps, that gave me goosebumps. And I said, all right, that's where we're supposed to be. And, God has a way of working and doing some crazy things in your life. And if you stay in faith and remain in faith, and I don't care if you're a believer or not, I'm just telling you that if you remain in faith, that things work out. And, when we were in Fargo and we loved the opportunity there, and it was the best I could have ever asked for financially. We were, everything that we'd ever imagined. God opened up that door. But then we get through basketball season, and I've told you the story. We're halfway through and find out we're going to be blessed with another child coming up here in July, a little boy. And we decided, hey, man, it's God, where do you want us to be next? Because we were feeling like there was something else. And then it was just the impression was like Huntsville, Huntsville, Huntsville. And we didn't have anything lined up. Scary when you have one kid, another one on the way. And then things, unfortunately, some other things didn't really work out in our favor, and that's why I feel like sometimes the enemy tries to derail you. You have savings up to 10 months, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, I'm going to have to dig into that a lot sooner now. And but I'm telling you, man, when you stay in faith and just that you're supposed to be somewhere, listen to your heart and listen to your gut. And those two things, when they work in tandem, I believe that's the Holy Spirit. Because sometimes your heart will tell you something and your gut says something else. You know what? I've learned in life, follow your gut. A lot of times don't. Your heart sometimes, your gut's a little bit deeper down. But I believe that whenever both of those things feel right, when you feel it in your heart and you feel it down in your belly, then you're like, okay, it's time to go.
He'll deliver that message, and he'll tell you. But, man, you got to be willing to listen.
Yeah, man. So that's what it's about. Hey, Greg Smith is chiming in this morning. And so Greg Smith over at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home chiming in saying, good morning, Huntsville. By the way, we do want to remind you, and we're going to take one final break. And before we do, though, there's that put your money where your mouth is. That was the phrase I was trying to remember earlier whenever we were talking about.
Put your foot where your butt is. Or...
Yeah, I don't even know what it was, man. We're giving away $25 this morning, $25 gift certificate to the Color Bar, and also a $25 Klein card. And so if you put these two together, that's $50 off this weekend, man. If you want to go and get your hair taken care of.
Get your hair did.
Get your hair did. There you go. You can get your hair did right here. $50 off of that over at the Color Bar and more. You can go get your hair.
Well, hey, I mean, it doesn't just stop there, because this is going to continue saving you money again and again and again.
Yeah, it will. So that's our good friends over at Klein Card. We're giving that away. Just comment hashtag Good Morning Huntsville, hashtag Visit Huntsville TX, and also make sure to like and share this broadcast. and that'll get you automatically entered. It's your final opportunity to do that. We've had a few folks chime in this morning, and so that will get you entered in to win on a Friday. We'll step aside. We'll take a break, though. When we come back, as we always wrap it up, it's the National Day of Something today. We're going to let you know what it is. There's a lot of them today. One of them may relate to Ricky Bobby, possibly.
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite movie of all time.
I mean, it's up there pretty high,
It's pretty
because
high.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
We'll talk about it here in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. We'll tell you what's going on when we come back here on Good Morning Huntsville. Welcome back at it. Good morning, Huntsville. Rob Pipp here. Billy Cauthen, our Foundation 5 sponsor, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, as you guys taking care of Huntsville and Walker County, and not just here, 2 other locations, Montgomery and Willis, right?
Yeah, we got Montgomery County as well. So wherever you travel, wherever you go, we're the funeral home for you.
I just thought of a little, wherever you travel, wherever you go. If people hear this jingle, they're never going to go. So I won't
They'll
sing
quit
it.
watching our show.
Yeah, there you go, man. But again, appreciate Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. A lot of folks chiming in. My beautiful young lady out there, Miss Bridget, saying good morning. Love you, sweetheart. Good morning to you as well. And also chiming in, our good friend Sally Hosey, saying good morning, Huntsville. Eat 'em up, cats, and sting 'em hornets.
That's what I'm talking about.
We got the 2, and I love that too, because you always get the orange heart and the green heart. Man, we were broadcasting this Georgetown softball. I mentioned earlier in the show. Nathan and I, he'd met me. We went to Mumford, hour and a half. Beautiful. It's like you're driving in the Field of Dreams. All of a sudden pops up. Have you been out there before?
Oh, yeah.
So it's literally you're driving on this county road. There's corn everywhere, and then all of a sudden this beautiful baseball park and a softball park just pops up out of nowhere.
There's not a bunch of like little redheaded kids on the side of the road staring at you or anything.
No, none of that, man.
Good.
Yeah.
No. Children of the corn.
Yeah, none of that, man. But we were out there yesterday or last night, got to broadcast that, and it was awesome because Santa Fe, Georgetown was playing Santa Fe. The Lady Eagles won that game 2-1, and I know that doesn't relate to this area, but just sharing the story with you because we were asking folks, hey, if you're out there, let us know. And man, when I got in last night, right before I went to bed, finally at 2 a.m., but I was just checking my final messages and my emails and stuff before I went down for the night, and man, we had like 60 text messages come in on that. It was nuts, just how many folks, and a lot of them were from Santa Fe, and just great people down there. I know there's a tragedy there several years ago with the shooting there, but just wonderful people in Santa Fe, and it was cool to be there. Man, I was saying on the broadcast that, as much as I enjoy doing stuff at the collegiate level in Division I, especially Sam Houston or NDSU, and thankful for those privileges, I still really, really enjoy doing high school sports. There's just something unique about the atmosphere, the community, and you know how it is. You grew up here in Huntsville, man. Whenever you go to those Hornet games on a Friday night, it's rocking.
Oh, yeah. You got the Mad Mamas in the stands and everything. Yeah, it's a good time.
We had a couple of people last night in Santa Fe because I was under the impression that Georgetown was going to be on the third base, dugout because they were the home team, and it doesn't really matter. I've learned in high school baseball if you're on the first base or the third base dugout, that doesn't necessarily mean anything about if you're the home or the away team. But I thought, and I was under the impression that we were going to be on that third base side. And so Nathan and I set up our equipment in the stands. We always like to sit in the middle of our fans. And so we're in the middle of our stands, and all of a sudden all these Santa Fe people start piling around us. And it was not Georgetown fans. So we're sitting there calling a game that's, 70-30 Georgetown sided. And a lot of the folks were, Santa Fe fans. So we were having fun last night. And there was a couple of fans, and they felt like the umpires were just calling it wrong all night. Again, if you got a problem with the umps, why don't you go to umpire school and you learn how to do it? It's not an easy task. And I'm going to tell you this. Look, you may have heard stories at some places. Oh, they're getting paid off. Does that happen? Probably. Have I ever experienced it, or have I have knowledge? And I've called a lot of games. No, these guys don't get paid off by people to do this stuff. And it's always funny because the comments were coming in and the text, oh, they're getting paid. I wonder how much bonus they're getting tonight. And I'm like, and there was 2 fans, and it was funny because they were just screaming. One lady was like, "Dude, you're getting it wrong," and she was like taking her hand. Like I was like, "My goodness, chill out."
Dude, when we played T-ball, we weren't even keeping score. These mothers were like rushing out there trying to fight the blue. I was like, it doesn't matter. Your son didn't even hit the ball.
Yeah, you know.
There are no scouts in the stand.
You know it gets rough whenever the mamas are starting.
The mamas are the worst.
Yeah, they're starting to get angry.
And you notice they take their little folding chairs, pow, and they're right behind home plate. And their kid is the only person on the team. And that just irritates the stuff out of me.
Yeah. Well, you know what I've learned, too, in broadcasting? Make sure you get the names right because the mamas will be the first one. I was calling a state basketball championship game in San Antonio for Gerald one year, Gerald, Texas, 3A school. I think they're 4A now. But at the time, they were 3A. And you think if you're on press row, you're safe and secure, right? No. I always go, if I can't get the pronunciation, at the college level, it's easy. You have a pronunciation guide. You can reach out to what's called SIDs. But here's the deal. At the high school level, you don't get all that. And a lot of times, and no disrespect to the coaches, the team you broadcast for, of course, they're going to give you whatever you need. Mm-hmm. But the opposing coaches, sometimes they don't want to share information with you for whatever reason. And I'm like, I'm not giving this to my coach. I'm trying to broadcast a game. And so you don't get coaches calling you back, or there's not someone that'll tell you, here's how to pronounce the names for the opposing teams. And so I'll go back and I'll listen to other broadcasts, and that's how I kind of put it together. But there are some situations where I've done everything that I've researched, and I've exhausted my resources trying to figure out some of these pronunciations. And what I will do is I will very politely go into the stands, and I will sit down with a parent of an opposing team and say, hey, do you mind helping me? I just want to make sure that I get these right. So at this state tournament game, I met some guy, and we're going over all the pronunciations. This guy was on the team, by the way. This was an assistant coach that was on the team. We're going through them, and he says, yes, that's right. And I was reading them, and there was a couple that I had wrong, so he corrected me. So I'm sitting here calling a game, and all of a sudden, man, I just feel something like pop me on my back shoulder. And it's like some mom that has a paper rolled up like she's whipping me. You're calling my son's name wrong. I was like, my goodness, I thought it was safe and secure here, man, at the Alamo Dome. This lady comes raging down from the second row and just starts popping me on the back.
Did he have like an exotic name or something?
I don't remember. One of the coolest names.
Daquan or
no, one of the coolest names that I've ever heard in broadcasting sports. One was at the collegiate level, greatest baseball name of all time. And I had to write it down because it could have came out wrong. Itchy Burts. And I wrote it down because, you know, Burts could sound like you could accidentally say your bottom. So I had to say Itchy Burts, and I wrote it down. He played for, I believe it was, the Islanders, Corpus Christi down there. So, but Itchy Burts, and one of the greatest basketball names that I ever had. The kid's last name, no joke, was Shots. Do you know what his first name was? Totally not making this up.
Enlighten me here.
Collier. The kid was named Collier Shots. And I looked at the roster and I said, are you kidding me? And they're like, no, that's his name. It was like Caulier. The last name was Shots. Collier Shots.
That's a mama that was out after childbirth and daddy took over with naming. That's what that is.
Oh, yeah, that's like a buddy of mine. I used to joke around. Galen, if you're ever watching, Galen is a tremendous man. He's in his 80s now, and his last name is Welnicki. And I remember telling him, I said, how did you get your last name? And he told me some story, and I was sitting there thinking while he was talking because obviously my ADD was going crazy. And I said, I bet your family name came from, you know, while your great-grandparents were giving birth, they probably just was like, well, Nikki. And that's how you get your last name.
Well, that's like my last name gets butchered so much that I've instructed my children, if they say your first name followed by a last name that remotely sounds like it started with a C, they're talking about you.
Yeah.
So
your name, but how do people butcher your last name? It's Cauthen.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
How do they say it? Like Cauthen?
Catherine, Cauthen. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, to me, I guess it's because I've called a lot of names, and so I used to be in awe of guys that broadcast because I'm like, how do you know that name? How do you know that name? Well, once you start being around a lot of the names, you can see them. But then there's some enunciations of some of these names they can go 5 different ways. And so you'll call it one way with one kid, and then the next week it's the same last name and a different kid, and you call it that same way, and it's like, that's wrong. That's not how you say it.
That's like whenever we get new scouts at the troop level, and they're like, "Hey, Billy, Mr. Billy." That's fine.
Yeah, just don't call him BC, because you don't want to make you feel like you're dated here, Billy. So, hey, it's been a good one today. A lot of folks chiming in. We appreciate you. We hope that you have a wonderful and blessed Friday. Before we go, Billy, I know you got to get to work, but I did want to go over what is the national day of. I told you there's a lot of them. It's National Defense Transportation Day. I wonder what this is. I should probably, at least go
that's
through
defensive driving.
Yeah. National Defense Transportation Day. It's a federal observance day held on the third Friday. They had to come up with something to take off of work. The Defense Transportation System includes all aircraft, ships, and commercial small package services under the contract of the Department of Defense. This includes all operations of U.S. military air ocean terminals in and outside of the U.S. So there you go.
And you reckon the bank's closed? Or
So whenever we're worrying about, inflation and all that, somebody at the political level, we don't ever talk politics, but we're going to joke around about this one, some politician decided, you know what, we need to have a day for the National Defense Transportation. So there you go. It is also National Endangered Species Day. When you're in school, you hear a lot about endangered species, and I feel like as you get an adult, you don't talk about it a lot.
No.
And it's important. National Endangered Species Day encourages learning about wildlife habitats and the actions necessary to protect them. And so a good day here to remember and to be thankful for the animals that we have and those that are on the endangered species list. National Devil's Food Cake Day. Oh, man.
Now, that's one we can get behind right there.
Oh, man, hold on. Before we go, Billy, hold on, friends. We still got a lot of folks joining us here. I have to show you this morning. This, by the way, from nationaldaycalendar.com. Look at this. If this does not get you going on a Friday, I don't know what will. Would you look at that, man? I'm ready to go.
I think Greg's taking me to lunch today is what that is.
Yeah, it's National Devil's Food Cake Day, and we're showing a picture of it there for those that are on the audio only. That thing looks good. It is a heavenly chocolate cake, differs from a regular chocolate cake by its darker color, and tends to be more moist and airy. Devil's food cake recipes use hot or boiling water as a primary liquid. Cocoa typically utilized in the batter. Oh, man. So it's National Devil's Food Cake today.
Well, it says it's heavenly.
It does. There's one here. Sometimes before I click on these, I read through them. Here we go. Oh, this one. Okay. National May Ray Day. It is the time of the year that we celebrate bright sunshine, warmer weather, and just a slight breeze to cool your skin. Who sits and thinks of these days, Billy? I could imagine you and I, like 50 years from now, and we're just sitting on your porch and, have a little toddy and a cigar. Well, Billy, I just feel like today ought to be National Ray Day. What do you think there, boy?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean. Who thinks of this stuff?
Do they get paid to do this?
I have no. People create stuff. It's National Pizza Party Day today. That's not a bad one.
We could do that.
Yeah, National Pizza Party. By the way, you can use your Klein card and go to Fat Boys Pizza and get 10% off. So there you go. National Pizza Party Day today. And then last but certainly not least, I teased you earlier about this one. It is also NASCAR Day.
Go fast and turn left.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's right.
We're referencing, by the way, Talladega Nights for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about. It is NASCAR Day, though. So in 2006, the NASCAR Foundation brought family together to support the cause of health and lives of children across the whole country. Today, the observance kicks off a fundraising event dedicated to making a difference in the lives of children. How about that? I never would have thought that was what NASCAR Day was about. So there you go, Billy.
No fast and turn left?
That's right. We got some winners that we are going to bring up today, and, we are allowed to do this because our randomizer, our winner today is, Jacqueline. Jacqueline Cauthen.
No relation.
I believe that may be someone down the road that's related to you, Billy, but you know what? We're not the FCC, and that's the way it works. So Jacqueline is the winner today,
No,
Billy.
then we are related.
Yeah, she is. Jacqueline, congratulations. You made it easy. I don't even have to ask you to come up here. I'll just send this home with Billy. But congratulations to Jacqueline. She is our winner. She will take home the Klein card and also the $25 gift certificate there to our good friends at the Color Bar. Again, appreciate everybody chiming in this morning. Also, Lisa Branch from Learning RX. I think she's going to be on the show, I believe, Lisa, next week. Jason Thompson has asked her to come on and talk about CASA. So we're going to have her on Tuesday.
Has she ever brought you the little Learning RX? She has like a little test that you can do. Just
I've seen it. I haven't filled it out, but I need to do that.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, we keep forgetting, and that's what Learning RX is all about. So we appreciate you, Lisa. Looking forward. Yeah, and she says she is. She will be here on Tuesday. So excited to have
Hey,
you.
leave me one of those tests so I can forget to take it.
Yeah, for real. I need to take one of those, Lisa. I will for sure. So she just said I'll bring it. So that's great. So I'll make sure that you get one too, Billy.
Yeah.
So
Hey, make sure you got crayons for mine.
yeah, man. But she'll do a great job, and Lisa, appreciate you. Fun show today, Billy. Great way to end the week. And I'm going to head over and talk to some of our coaches here in the area and get up to speed with a few things going on in our community. And then I'm going to go home and take a nap. And then I'm heading back to Mumford tonight for more softball, man. So it'll be a lot of fun. What do you got planned this weekend?
We are in the process of modeling our home, so I will be sheetrocking and painting and removing carpet and just so if anybody wants to come by and get elbow deep in the middle of that, okay. I'll yell at you just like one of my own kids.
There you go, man. Come on with it. Friends, we love you. We always enjoy bringing you this show. Got a lot lining up next week. Also, make sure to visit our website at hellohuntsvilletx.com as we'll keep you up to date with the latest and all the fun things happening around Huntsville. Also, our new Hometown Heroes section will be launching soon. We'll get that business directory up and going, our ethical business directory. Still a lot in the works that we are now through 29 episodes of this show, but it's not just about this show every morning. We also promote things on the website at hellohuntsvilletx.com.
This is show 29?
It says 29, but I went through and started counting them, and I think there was like 2 episode 22s.
Oh, I just thought it was cute that the shows match my age.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Holding steady at 29, Billy.
Yeah, for quite some time.
Yeah, man, for quite some time. That'll wrap it up here this morning. We hope you have a wonderful and blessed Friday. Get up there, make a difference. Somebody out there needs you, as I end every broadcast with that message to provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand to support. Somebody out there needs you, Huntsville. As always, good morning. God bless. We'll see you back at it. Have a wonderful and blessed weekend, and we will see you on Monday. So long, everyone.